Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the MORS Pummeler, which I believe is the best sniper rifle for quickscoping in Advanced Warfare. It's actually better than the Doctor. We'll talk about why later on, but even though it's really good at quickscoping, I personally am not good at quickscoping, so most of the sniping you'll see in this gameplay is either old man sit in the back of the map and pick people off sniping, or quick sniping, which means I just ADS kind of fast and shoot, but it's not a true quickscope. One other interesting thing about sniper rifles in general, or variants of sniper rifles, is that mobility actually changes the move speed on sniper rifles. As we've discussed in previous episodes, mobility almost always is your aim down sights time, so a lot of people were thinking that it's kind of funny, like the original idea is that mobility is, movement speed, because that would make sense, and then after I put that video out and the community realized that mobility is aim down sights time, they started thinking you can ADS faster with sniper rifles, but snipers and shotguns, mobility is mobility. This one in particular, the MORS Pummeler, has 90%, some of the other ones will change, and the cool thing about this is that it also has a sprint out time reduction. It's been reduced by 10%. It was 300 milliseconds, now it's 270, and that's the amount of time that it goes from sprinting to you being able to fire, or aim down sights and fire. And that's really big for quickscoping because that shaves 10% off of the time that you need to actually pull off a quickscope, which is to stop, aim down sights, and fire. That makes that whole process 10% faster, and it's going to make the weapon feel better. It's just going to have a good feel to it. Speaking of feel, we have a rate of fire increased by approximately 10%. The regular MORS fires at 47 RPM. This one's a little bit faster at 51 RPM. I know it's not quite exactly 10%, but it's an easy way to think about it. And those, it's like, okay, so I went up 4 RPM. It's not that big of a deal. It is actually a bigger deal because of how low and small these numbers are. It will change the feel of the weapon, and you'll be able to get follow-up shots or quick scopes faster with this one in particular. Now, the big downside to the Pummeler, one of the reasons that people don't like it or don't gravitate toward it, is it has negative damage. Anybody sees negative damage on a sniper rifle, they get scared, they think they're going to get less one-shot kills, but there's actually no damage reduction at all on the MORS Pummeler. It deals the exact same damage as all of the other variants, and it also doesn't have any body multiplier changes at all. So your one-shot kill areas with the MORS Pummeler are exactly the same as your one-shot kill areas with other sniper rifles. What it does do, however, is it changes the penetration factor of the bullet from high to medium. The normal MORS and all sniper rifles have a high level of penetration, which means they can punch through most objects. On this one in particular, it decreases to medium, so it's more like an assault rifle or some of the SMGs. You can't shoot through very many objects, which if you're using this the way it should be used, I don't think that's a big deal anyway. Wall penetration is not really a big thing in AW, but if you do go for wall bangs, keep in mind this is not a very good variant. One of the other downsides is that the idle sway is increased. The amount of the sway, or the total distance left, right, up, down, is increased slightly from 60 to 65, and the speed of the sway is the big one. It increases from, it's a rate, it doesn't really have units, it's just 1.75 goes to 2.0, and that's just how fast it's going to bob, like how fast it's going to move left, right, and that is a little bit high for me. It has a very awkward sort of feel to it, which makes it not as good as the other sniper rifles for actually sniping at a distance. There are some that have less sway, which are far easier to use. You don't have to hold your breath on. This one, not so great, and it can occasionally screw up quick scopes as well. I know Cross and the other snipers really just hate the sway in this game. However, I feel that this is a better variant for quickscoping than the Doctor, and the reason for that is they are statistically identical. The Pummeler is exactly the same as the Doctor with one exception. The Doctor has a move speed of about 88%. The Pummeler has a move speed of 90%. So you run a little bit faster with the Pummeler, and every other single statistic is exactly the same, so the Pummeler statistically dominates the Doctor. I don't know why you wouldn't take the Pummeler unless you just like the look of the Doctor. Definitely go with this one. I think it's the best for quickscoping, and I do think it's better than the ever so popular Doctor variant. As for what I think is best with it, if you're going to use the regular default sniper sights, Ballistic CPU is an absolute must because it sways so much. That'll help you a lot. You can also use the variable zoom, which is very popular, but if you want to get the most out of this, I'm going to highly recommend either the thermal sight or the iron sights for really fast quick scopes, because those two sights, ACOG as well, but that adds even more sway, actually cause you to aim down sights faster. So the variant has a faster sprint out time, a faster fire rate, and normal movement speed, and with this particular attachment I can aim down sights faster. It kind of makes it a quickscoping machine, and that's really the way I would go with it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of In Depth. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the EM1 Sweet Dreams, and the next episode is going to be on the SN6 Magistrate. Drifter out.